So this weekend, boys, we're in UFC Baku. The main event is Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be giving this card a solid 6.5. Now, I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. The prelims are bussin'. But the main card is like a little slackish. There's a lot of good fights on here, to be honest. I'm not looking forward to this Curtis Blades fight, but we're going to be getting into all of these fights. I'm going to give you my prediction and breakdown for every single fight on the card, starting off with a heavyweight bout between two savages, Hamdi Adalawap versus Kamaru Usman's brother, Muhammad Usman. Now, first of all, Hamdi Adalawap is 2-0 in the UFC. He's 8-0, 6-0. He's 6-0 overall. He's never lost a squabble. He's out there. His first fight in the UFC, honestly, was a robbery. It was a robbery, but it's okay, because Muhammad Usman just saw his brother, Kamaru Usman, go out there and beat up Joaquin Buckley. Nobody thought, I don't care what you have to say, nobody thought that Kamaru Usman was going to do that to Joaquin Buckley. Muhammad Usman was in there. He was taking notes. He was writing motivational things down. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, so he knows if he loses this, it's honestly probably over. You're going to have to go to Cage Warriors, bro. So, I'm going to say Muhammad Usman gets this done by vicious knockout, early rounds. He has terrible cardio. But we're in heavyweight, so everybody kind of has terrible cardio. This is going to be a slugfest. These boys are going to be out of breath. I'm going to go with Muhammad Usman, though. The Usman family, I cannot bet against right now. Currently. Okay? I mean, Usman didn't go out there and dominate Joaquin Buckley. But Muhammad Usman took some notes down. We're going to go with Muhammad Usman over Hamdi Adalawap. Moving on, boys. We have Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Makuzum. Now, Tagir Ulanbekov, this dude's a little inactive. So, first of all, his last fight was in January 18th of 2023. He won by unanimous decision over Clayton Carpenter. Whatever. His fight previously before then was against Cody Durden in 2023. He won by submission. Okay. Now, Tagir Ulanbekov obviously is a submission / decision merchant. You know, he's one of the Khabib copycats. He's from Russia. I get the game plan. If it works, it works. I'm not hating him. This is going to be a grappler's delight anyway. Now, Azat only has one loss in his whole entire career. Okay? He is 17-1. That one came from a little dude known as Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson whooped that ass, won by unanimous decision. I'm going to be honest here. Nothing against Charles Johnson. Absolutely nothing. But you still lost to Charles Johnson. I'm going to be going with Tagir. His submission game is just elite. He's a submission specialist. This dude has 9 submissions. 9 submission wins. We're going with Tagir. Hopefully he's been in there training, or maybe it's just like riding a bike. You get off for 5 years, you get on, and it's muscle memory. You know how to sink in the rear naked choke. Okay? Tagir, you got this. Moving on. First of all, this is in Baku. This is near Iran. Why are there 2 women fights on the card? There's 2 women fights. We have Irana Alazika versus Kluda Saluga. Kluda Saluga, hey, that's a looker, first of all. Now, I am not watching this. There are 2 women fights back-to-back. This is a smoke break / pee break for Iraq. The fight above this is Dara Zalikshinova versus Melissa Mullins. Now, Melissa Mullins looks like an absolute character. I might have to watch this fight just because Melissa Mullins looks... We are betting Melissa Mullins. She will be in the parlay for sure. Moving on, boys. This is a banger. They only get better from here on out. The prelims are absolutely bussing. Ismail Nuradiev versus Jo Young Park. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little biased off rip. Jo Young Park is my boy. Jo Young Park is my boy. The Iron Turtle. But we're going to start with Ismail Nuradiev. Nuradiev has 12 knockout wins. He just beat up Bruno Silva. He won by unanimous decision. But hold the phone, because my boy struggles against wrestlers. He lost to Sean Brady. Now, moving on to Jo Young Park. Jo Young Park is a submission. Well, not a submission guy. He's a wrestler. He mixes in his takedowns with his wrestling, and he mixes it in pretty often, if we're being for real. The name Iron Turtle you don't get for absolutely no reason. He just beat Brad Tavares, and Iron Turtle has never been knocked out in the UFC, and he's been in the UFC since 2019. Okay, so that 12 KO wins, we're throwing that right out the window. Both of these dudes are coming off of wins. Ishmael has a small height advantage, only by 2 inches. 2-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach advantage. We're still going with Joe Young Park. Okay, hopefully you watch the Usman fight. Maybe watch Merab beat up Sean O'Malley. Okay, take some fucking notes. It is the meta right now, and follow the meta. We're going Jung Young Park by decision. Moving on, boys. So Yukakin KO versus the fucking Welch gangster Oban Elliott. Now, so Yukakin KO is a former Sambo world champion. He is a karaoke machine. My boy brings karaoke's to the gym, allegedly. And he starts K-pop sessions, allegedly. He has had 2 fights delayed due to visa issues. Last name is KO. My boy's last name is literally KO. But he did have a canceled fight against Billy Ray Goff and somebody else because he has a visa issue. But they found my boy a dance partner in Oban Elliott. And Oban Elliott is going to give my boy Sayukigan KO a run for his money. I promise. It's not even going to be close. We are never betting against the Welsh gangster, Oban Elliott. He cuts his own hair with kitchen scissors, if you didn't know. He said that in an interview. And he also promised on Twitter that he was going to get a Welsh dragon tattoo if he beats KO in Baku. My boy is 3-0 in the UFC. He's never lost. And he's 2 inches taller. He's 2 inches taller. Now, so you can get KO is debuting in the UFC. This is his debut. He's 11-2 overall. But my boy, Oban Elliott, the fucking Welsh gangster, is going to handle this with absolutely no problem. I'm going to say decision, because with a name like KO, you have a chin, and those Koreans have chins. They have granite chins. I thought that KO was a lot taller than Oban Elliott for whatever reason. My brain just thinks that Oban Elliott is a small dude, but Oban Elliott is a lot, well, again, 2-inch height advantage from Oban Elliott. 2-inch height advantage. I'm going to say, off the rip, this might be performance of the night worthy. I'm going to throw that out there. Moving on, boys. We are on the main card. We got here a little quickly, but that's because they kind of padded the prelims card with 2 women fights back to back. So, we have Muhammad Namanov versus Bogdan Grad. Now, Namanov is on a 1-fight winning streak. He lost to Felipe Lima via rear naked choke in June 2024, but my boy beat Nathaniel Wood. We hold Nathaniel Wood in extremely high regards on this channel. I fuck with Nathaniel Wood. I'm a little biased, okay? So, that win, I mean, it hurts me to say, but it means something to me. It does. Now, he has a Taekwondo background. He's a minus 225 favorite, and 4 out of his 9 finishes come by submission. Okay, now, Bogdan Grad, who looks like a fucking troll under a bridge, but shout out to Bogdan Grad. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. He was knocked out by Tom Nolan on the Contender Series, but they gave my boy another chance, and he came back and obviously got signed. Here he is right now. He has 1 fight in the UFC, and he won it by KO. He has 9 wins by knockout. He has heavy hands, but no one checked my boy's grappling, though. You know what, Islam? I don't like Islam, but you know what he says? You have to check the grappling. Oh, no, that's Hamza. No one check his grappling, brother. Something like that. Somebody go out there and check Grad's grappling. I'm going to go with Namanov. He's going to mix in these takedowns. He has fucking 4 wins by submission. Nobody's really seen Grad's ground game at the UFC level. So, let's see what it's about. I'm going to go with the dude who's actually submitting things and putting things away. To be for real, yes, you're sleeping things. Not in the UFC, though. Not in the UFC. And you were knocked out by Tom Nolan. You were knocked out by Tom Nolan. You are knocked out by Tom Nolan. Moving on, boys. Nazim Sadihov versus Nicolas Mata. First of all, Sadihov has a hometown advantage. He's Azerbaijan. Okay, he's Azerbaijan. Shout out to him. He's undefeated. He has wins over Terrence McKinney. He knocked out Evan Elder. And he went to a draw with the Russian Santa Claus. What a banger fight that was, by the way. What a banger fight. You should go watch that. Nazim Sadihov versus Russian Santa Claus. Look that up. Watch that. Amazing squabble. Absolutely amazing squabble. This dude is a world beater, boys. I fuck with Terrence McKinney. I thought he was going to be the next up-and-coming star. Here comes Nazim Sadyhoff, and here comes like 2 other guys who knock him out. But it's okay. It's okay. I fuck with Evan Elder. Knocked him the fuck out. Went to a draw with the Russian Santa Claus. The Russian Santa Claus is a tough dude, bro. Tough. Now we have Russian Santa Claus versus Terrence McKinney. That's going on next. I think that's on 317. But Bada is on a 2-fight winning streak, and he knocked out Tom Nolan in 63 seconds. Sadyhoff is a minus 400. He should be a fucking minus 800. Should be a minus 8,000. He should be a minus 8,000. Okay? Sadyhoff has literally beaten three of my favorite prospects. We're gonna count that draw as a loss and a win. I don't know, but that's in the W column for him and also for Russian Santa Claus. So I'm gonna say he beat 3 of some of my favorite prospects. You throw fucking Joshua Van in there, and I'm cooked. We're going with Sadyhoff. I don't think it's gonna. Boys. Moving on. Tawfiq Musaev versus the fucking caveman, my Tech Orbalati. Listen, these names are harder and harder to say. I don't know what you want from me. Now, my boy Musaev. Tawfiq, we're going to call him Tawfiq. Tawfiq has the home field advantage. He won the Risen Lightweight Grand Prix in 2019. He has a 91, say it with me, 91% finish rate with 18 knockouts and 2 submissions. But my boy's coming on a 19-month layoff. Now, the caveman is coming off a Fight of the Year against Fight of the Year contender, but hey, that fight was fucking insane against Matusios Rebecki, which ended in a split decision loss, but he won. In my heart, he won that fight. It was a fucking bloodbath. Go watch that fight. Hey, I'm dropping knowledge on you guys. Go watch that fight. He looks like a caveman, and he has a fucking chin. I like Orbalati. I love him. But Musaev has a great chance to win. He has the experience, the knockout power. But Orbalati has a fucking chin, and he's the caveman, and he has some plot armor. He's going to find a way to get this shit done. He is. Orbato Balati, the caveman, Orbato Balati. My Tubek Orbalati. You see how I just be making shit up? My Tubek Orbalati, you got this in the bag. You're the caveman. You better figure out how to get this done, brother. I am being so... Figure it out. I don't care if you have to eat 1,000 shots. You are beating this man in front of his home crowd. Yes, you are. We're riding with the caveman. Moving on, boys. We have Curtis Blades versus Razanyan Kuniev. Now, if you remember, we just saw Curtis Blades fight Tom Aspinall for the belt. And they have him fighting somebody who is literally unranked. That's how fucked the heavyweight division is, by the way. This fight has been rescheduled a bunch of times. It was originally set for February 2025 in Seattle. Then it got moved to UFC 313 in March. And later, the May card in Qatar before landing in UFC Baku. This fight might not even happen for real. My boy Curtis Blades holds UFC heavyweight records for the most takedowns, 62 takedowns, and the most control time, an hour and 20 minutes. My boy sat here and watched a movie while holding people on the ground. Is coming off of a knockout loss to Tom Aspinall, but you can't really hold that against him, but you kind of can because Tom Aspinall will fucking scramble your brain. That is a massive dude. But he took a little bit to recover from getting his brain scrambled, and here we are. Now, Kuniev is entering the UFC on an 11-fight win streak. In 2022, he had a suspension for testing positive for multiple anabolic steroids. Curtis Blades had a statement on this and said, this is a non-factor. Steroids won't help Kuniev sprawl or eat a punch for me any easier. Confidence coming from Curtis Blades, but if we're being for real, Curtis Blades is going to take the suit down and absolutely fucking submit. He has an hour and 20 minutes of control time and the most takedowns with 62. We're going with Curtis Blades. Moving on, boys. Co-main event, banger. Now, I don't really want to talk about this fight. It's very scary for me. Now, Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. If you're a fan of the channel, when Ignacio Bahamondes went to fight Jalen Turner, he became our op during the pre-fight press conference where they had everybody out there on stage. He became our op. He was making fun of my boy Jalen Turner. Yes, I had to look for the fucking name. Yes, I did. He retired. It's not on the top of my tongue. Pause. But Ignacio Bahamondes is my op. Okay? Alright, that's my bias right there. Now, Fiziev is on a 3-fight losing streak. Breaks my heart to say it, but yes, he fucking is. Now, one was Justin, which was a war. The first one, which was an absolute war. Then he lost a fight due to injury. My boy got injured in the octagon, and that became a loss. And then he took a short fight notice against Justin and fucking lost. But he sat on Justin's head in the first 10 seconds of the fight. So we have to take something right there. Before all this nonsense, Fiziev was on a 6-fight win streak from 2019 to 2022. He knocked out Rafael Dos Anjos, knocked out Renato Moicano, and then he kind of just ran into Justin Gaethje. Great kicks. My boy is a lot smaller than Bahamondes. Fiziev is 5'8", and Bahamondes is 6'3". My boy Fiziev has the home field advantage, though. This is literally the person who the card was basically built around, was Rafael Fiziev. All right. Now, Bahamondes is on a 3-fight winning streak. He just retired Jalen Turner. His last 3 wins are all first-round finishes. He trains with Bilal. He has good striking. He is a very crazy submission threat. Lack of experience with elite-level strikers. His highest-level fighter in the UFC that he has faced is Jalen Turner. Okay? Fiziev has been in there with Justin Gaethje twice. Fiziev is aggressive. Fiziev is he's like a fucking rabid dog. He's a savage. I'm gonna have to go on Fiziev here. He can't go on a 4-fight if Fiziev goes on a 4-fight losing streak, he will be cut from the UFC, and I will not be very happy. Fiziev is a fucking star. Just a string of unlucky things has happened. Got injured in that fight against, I want to say Gamrot. Took a short notice fight against Justin Gaethje, lost, but it was a fucking short. What did you expect? You hopped on the plane 2 days before the fight was going to happen. You had to make weight on the plane, essentially. You know what I mean? Fiziev is a star. He just had a string of unlucky occurrences. The issue here is going to be closing the distance against Ignacio Bahamondes. Ignacio has he trains with Bilal. He has a lack of experience with elite strikers. Do some spinning heel kicks. Kick him in the legs. Move forward. Wait for him to kick and blitz him. Fiziev, I need you to win. Not for me. Not for you. But for the people of Baku. That rhyme. Write that. Somebody get that tattooed. Moving on, boys. Fiziev, if you lose this, they might cut you, brother. I just want you to know that. And I will really have a bad day. Moving on, boys. We're in the main event. Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. I dropped its own personal video for this, but if you didn't watch this, here you go. Now, these dudes have some serious beef. First of all, this fight had to be rebooked twice. The first time it got rebooked, Roundtree got a doping violation in 2024 and had a 2-month suspension. It was only 2 months because he went out there and manned up and told them, yo, I took something I wasn't supposed to take, and they gave my boy 2 months. Shout out to the comments. Somebody commented that on my TikTok. I had no idea, and I fact checked it, and that was true. Now, when Roundtree got his ass whooped by Alex Pereira, Jamahal Hill was cage side doing the Yonamo. That's some serious beef. Then right after that, Jamahal Hill went on an interview and said, you know what? Roundtree's not even in my fucking bracket. That dude is not even in my bracket. Then it got rebooked again because Jamahal Hill pulled out due to a leg injury. So, just keep in mind, Jamahal Hill is low-key coming off of a leg injury and another injury because he had to pull out after he beat up, who the fuck did he beat up for the belt? Glover Teixeira. And he had to let the belt go. So, my boy's a little injury rattled, Jamahal Hill. Now, beat up Glover Teixeira to get the title in 2023. Since then, my boy has never won. My boy has not won since 2023. Got embarrassed by Alex Pereira, and that Yuri knockout, that was a pretty close. It wasn't close. You were just standing there getting your ass whooped. But He's on a 2-fight losing streak. The last time he won a fight, again, was in 2023. Jamahal is obviously super flat-footed. Now, Khalil Roundtree won a title fight off of beating Anthony Smith. Who the fuck gets a title shot off of beating up Anthony Smith? Dude who beat up the dude who, by the rule book, beat John Jones, Anthony Smith. Now, before he lost to Alex Pereira, my boy was on a 5-fight winning streak. He went to the fourth round with Khalil Roundtree won 2 of those rounds against Alex Pereira. Keep in mind, that was a fucking close war. He did get his brain scrambled. He had to get, like, nose reconstruction surgery and all this other shit. So this is his first fight back. Both of these dudes are PTSD riddled. They're both scared of getting knocked out. Well, I thought Jamahal would be, but he went out there and battled it out with Yuri. But I'm going to hope and pray. He's a little bit more PTSD rattled than Khalil Roundtree is. Khalil Roundtree literally had to reconstruct his own face. This is, bro. He had to reconstruct his own face. All right. This is going to be spooky, boys. This is going to be spooky. But I'm going Khalil Roundtree here. Muay Thai base. Jamal Hill's flat-footed. Leg injury. Pretty sure he has a shoulder injury. 2 knockout losses compared to 1 knockout loss. You can kind of pick him here. But this is the fight for 3rd place. You win this, you're not getting a title shot. Alex has secured that. And you're not... Yuri's the backup. You're not the back. At least it's not... If it doesn't fall on his exam date, you were not the backup. That's a fact. You are winning this fight to fight Yuri Prochazka. We saw what Jamahal Hill did with that opportunity. He went out there and got his ass whooped. Khalil Roundtree, I think, might have a little bit of a more competitive fight. Yuri still clears both of them, by the way. That's my brother. Still clears both of them. But this is the fight to see who will fight Yuri Prochazka, essentially. Please, Khalil, no crying. No crying. Go whoop his ass. He was sitting in the octagon, cage side, yawning while you got fucking brain damage. Go get your get back, brother. Those are my picks for UFC Baku, boys. We're giving this card a solid 7. 7. Dang, a good fights. Why do we have the smoke break 2 women's fights like back to back like that? Not needed. Not needed, by the way. Anyways, boys, make sure you subscribe, tap in, comment. Let me know if you made it to the end. I'm out of here. Peace.